Welcome to another episode of Real Talk with Vivian. And today I'm going to make things interesting and we're going to talk about relationships, but not just any relationships, but the 5 pillars that will make relationship work and last a lifetime. I've personally been in a relationship for about 10 years, a decade, guys. I know it's amazing. It's amazing. But I'm not here to brag about it. I'm here to tell the turbulence, the fun parts, the easy parts, and how you could also find that person, even though it seems difficult, even though it seems hard. I hope you can get something out of this podcast. Maybe you'll relate because there's obviously so many awkward, real moments during relationships. And you find humor in relationships and the struggles you've been through, you'll laugh about it and you'll have fun about it. So let's rewind back about 10 years ago when our relationship was fresh. My boyfriend's name is Chris, and he's very private about, what I disclose, what I talk about. And I'm not going to talk about a lot about him. I'm going to talk about mostly myself, what I went through, my own emotions, right? So as I was way young, 19 years old, a teenager practically, coming out of high school, what did I know? Just young love, right? Like thinking that I knew what love was, because when you're young, you're like, oh my god, I love him, I'm never gonna meet. And I had other boyfriends in high school, and I felt like I knew what love is. But apparently, according to some psychologists, love is different from infatuation. Infatuation's like you just love that someone loves you. You just love that somebody's paying attention to you. And I could definitely relate when I'd get text messages and my phone would ring, ding, 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 ding. I get so excited and my hands would start like sweating and I'd be like, oh my God, what do I say? What do I do? How do I keep this conversation going, right? And you just want to be with that guy and hang out with them and make sure that you're doing everything right because you don't want to lose them. So that was something I really enjoyed, but eventually I got my heart broken and I was like, you know what? I never want a relationship. It's too painful. My heart was broken into 1,000 pieces and I just want to break this person in half. I know it sounds kind of violent, but I know, we feel like that. We want to go and burn their house, burn their car, and like curse them out. That I did do. And don't lie to me if you say, oh, I never done that before. I never cursed my boyfriend or significant other because they broke up with me. Technically, they're not your significant other. They're significantly gone. Boop, boop. Anyways, so I was like, I'm going to play the field. Everyone plays the field. Everyone seems, oh my God, they're having fun. I had brothers, guys. I have a bunch of brothers and I just watch them and they enjoy playing the field. They have so much fun. It looks like they don't care and they're having a good time and they don't have all these responsibilities. And I'm watching them, right? And I think, well, why can't women do the same? Why can't women play the field? And am I meant for this? I don't think I am meant for playing the field. I like one thing, one guy, I'm not that person that could go from one to the next. And I wouldn't look at other ladies and be like, dang, go girl. Like I would never shame a lady for being with different guys, because why can't they? They're exploring, their options. They're exploring what they like. And I always thought, since my parents and I am Mexican, Hispanic, Latina, I was like, well, I gotta end up with a Mexican man, right? He's gotta be Mexican, need to speak Spanish, have those Mexican values, family comes first, because I didn't know anything else. I was born born near the border, and Spanish speakers were all around and everything and everywhere. But I was like, I don't know, because I went out with pure Hispanic, Mexican culture people. But I also knew that I was attracted to other races, like other different types of guys. So I didn't think anything of it, right? I'm heartbroken. I leave my little town of Santa Maria / called Tri-Tip Town. The best tri-tip, best strawberries, best everything. Because it's like people work in the field and they do an amazing job. So as I leave, I get to this place, this apartment complex, and my future boyfriend is there. I don't know it yet. He's just my friend. We're getting along. I go into this room, walk, right? Like the apartment itself, like the building in general, it just smell of rice, right? It smells like rice. I walk in there, say hello, and we shake hands. It's very easy to talk to this guy. He's very charismatic, very sure of himself, very confident and friendly, and not even arrogant. I don't like when people are arrogant and they think they know everything. No. So as time went by, we got to click, we got to hang out. And one day I get a text, bing, bing, bing. It's him. And he's like, would you like to go get some Starbucks? I was like, oh my God, is he asking me out on a date? What perfume do I wear? What do I wear? Okay, my boyfriend's blind, but still, I don't care. So we're at Starbucks. I get my white mocha, my coffee of choice back then, because I was new to coffee. Anyways, and he gets his, and we sit down and we're talking. We talk about our family. We talk about everything that we're going to do. As months went by, we were getting closer and closer. But there was this thing about me that was like, I don't want to go out with somebody that is blind. I'm not going to do it. But attraction, magnetics, I don't know what it is. But something keeps pulling me towards him. Eventually, I tell him, I like you. And we start saying, okay, we should go out. We should give it a try. And eventually we start going out and it's working so well, but we're so young, right? And here's where the first pillar comes in. This is where things get a little bit shaky, baby. Communication is the number one pillar that you're going to need to use when in a relationship, because communication is key. If you don't talk and say what you feel, what you think, you're just going to hold it up and let it be resentment. So throughout these years, we communicated, we talked, and knew that that's how the relationship was going to continue to keep going. And as time flew by, because time did fly by, we celebrated anniversaries, celebrated birthdays, and I really liked how our relationship is going. We're like friends. We keep the friendship going. We are talking. We're having a good time. And another one is a value that we both hold is adventure. We like to keep things interesting. If things get too routine, too repetitive, we know something's going on. We gotta go either a small little thing, right? A small little thing like go out to a restaurant, go to a new park, take a new route, and do something that just makes you feel uncomfortable, like running. I never liked running, but since he liked running, my partner liked running, I was like, I'll just give it a go, right? I mean, it doesn't hurt to run. And I played the ukulele and he loves guitars. He loves ukulele. That's the creative part, right? You got to be creative. You got to share some sort of skills and see if they're open enough to try it out. But the next pillar that is important, and I think everyone can relate, is honesty. You got to be honest with yourself where you're at, and you got to be honest with your partner where they're at. You got to keep asking each other, hey, where are we? How do you feel? How do I feel? It's important to have these feelings let out, because how are we supposed to know? Like, before I used to think he has to know where I'm at. Like, let him predict. And why do we women want guys to just assume that they know? Why do we want guys to assume where we're at? Why can't we just tell him? And we as women are like, he should know. He should know that he should do this. But that's not right. And it's not fair. Another thing that is important is respect. You gotta respect yourself. You gotta respect others. And you have to respect their own boundaries. If they say, hey, like my boyfriend, he doesn't like to be on camera. He doesn't want to be a part of the videos. And when he does, I ask him, hey, would you like to be a part of this video? Can I say this on camera? Can I put it out on camera? And if he says yes, then yes. And like, he respects my boundary. And if I don't want to run today, if I don't want to go out today, by all means, he can go out, he can go run, but not me, right? I just want to be at home and take care of myself. And I think the most important pillar is knowing your love language and knowing their love language. My personal love language is acts of service. Acts of service is so important for me because I do it for other people. Like, oh my God, I can do this creative thing and give them presents and very thoughtful gifts, right? They don't have to be huge, they don't have to be big, but I love it. And little things that my boyfriend does is like give me tea or just the small things, right? It's so like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Appreciation. And that's another thing, showing appreciation for the things they do for you. Take that into account. I appreciate when you cook for me. I appreciate you when you take my dog out, when we walk together. I appreciate that you're a hard worker. I appreciate your, like, you could just go on an appreciation rant, right? And you have to do that, because if you don't appreciate somebody else, how are they going to know? So I always try to keep that going. Appreciation, that's always the best thing you can do. And I think, what is that other love language? Acts of service, words of affirmation. Like, I love you. I love that you do this. Or same with like words of affirmation, right? Same with appreciation. That is my own love language. And I think that's so important, to know what you need, know what you want, and always keep tabs on what is going on in both of your lives. And never let the relationship dwindle. Yeah, like, I understand after the, what you call it, the honeymoon phase, you're like, it feels normal, it feels natural. You've been living with this person for what, a long time. If you've been with the person a couple months, okay, but personally, we've been living together for such a long time. So we know each other and how we act, and if something seems off, don't ignore it or brush it off. And if you feel like you're with a roommate instead of a partner, there's a problem. If you feel like there's no spark, you get home, you do your own thing, you go off and which there's nothing wrong with it. Like, after, whatever, you eat dinner together, take a walk together, check in together, and make sure, like, hey, where are you at today? What's going on? Like, what percentage are you at? What can I do to, help you out? So say we're just home, right? And someone gets home and they say, I'm feeling kind of tired. And I'm like, oh, gauging from what you've been through. You've been through a lot. I'll take some of that load off, and you can hang out and just put your feet off. Vice versa, the other way around as well, right? Where are you at? 20, 80, whatever, because when someone can't handle it, if somebody is too stressed and they don't want to do like the chores, they don't want to talk, they don't want to hang out, you have to give them that space to unwind and get their thoughts together, because that really unlocks the best version of yourself. That really makes the relationship better. It gives you time to work with your own emotions and your own feelings, because, man, sometimes the world is kind of hard and you need that moment to take a nap, and you need that moment to journal, or you need the moment to take a nice warm shower and take care of yourself. Once you take care of yourself, you'll be able to come back out and be like, wow, thank you. I appreciate that you gave me the space and time to unwind and relax. And I feel like my boyfriend and I we're different, but we're similar, because we have mutual respect as to what each of us want. And we have so many similarities, as in many, many values that we hold that are similar, right? And even though we may disagree sometimes, because it happens, that's all it is, a disagreement we can talk about. We may not be like, oh, yeah, you're right, I understand. I don't understand sometimes what he means, or I have my own point of view, and we don't have to be right. I just have to respect what he's saying, and he has to respect what I'm saying. But it's always a fun conversation if we don't agree. It's always a fun conversation when we just could move on, right? Why are we gonna argue for decades, millennia? We're not vampires. Why are we millennia? To reach an agreement, because we're like halves. We don't have to be the same. We don't have to like want the same things. We can want different things but have the same values, like adventure, growth, health. Because adventure's fun, you'll go everywhere, you'll travel. Growing as a person, growing in a relationship, growing in a career, and giving each other the space to do so, and letting them know, like, if you want to do this for your career, go ahead, do it. Do whatever you want to achieve what you want to achieve. I will never hold anybody back from their goal, their career, their passion. If that's what they want, I'll do whatever it takes to help them out. And same with me, I'm pretty sure if I had something, he would be like, yes, I'll do, I'll respect you and I'll follow you and make sure that you get to experience what you need to experience, whether it be career, passion, goals. As long as we have each other's backs within those values, we'll always keep growing together. If we have communication and honesty, we always will grow together. If we have those love language on check and always checking in and making sure that we're, doing the things that they need, or the acts of service with that love language, whether it be words of affirmation, quality time, acts of service. I'm forgetting a couple, but you know what I mean. I think that could really get you far. And the other thing is you're gonna wanna make it work. Like if you never tell somebody like, hey, this is not working, okay, it's over. It's not working, it's over. You get so defensive about it. But if you say, hey, this is not working, what can we work? How can we fix it? And there it is. How can we fix it? How can we make this work? Those are the words that create progress and growth. Avoiding the uncomfortable talk, and keeping it to yourself and thinking they're gonna figure it out one day. I could take it. I'm just gonna do most of the work. I'm just gonna follow or do whatever my other partner says. I'm just gonna be with him the whole time. I'm not gonna give him space. I'm just gonna make sure that, we agree on everything, and I'm gonna make sure that everything is taken care of. No, that's not what it is, and that is not how people grow. And I think space is important. We need our also time alone. And I wasn't saying like, oh yeah, you got to be with your partner the whole time after they come from work, after they come from a trip. I'm saying in the beginning, after a rough day, my partner, my boyfriend and I, whatever. We always say hello, how's your day? And, give each other a hug, a kiss, whatever it is. There's dinner, we eat together, and maybe when I'm feeling it, maybe walk the dog together. It's just so cold right now, right? And we talk in the beginning, and then once we all get situated, once everything happens, he does his own thing, I do my own. He does his own thing, I do my own thing, right? Which is create content, make videos, and what does he do? Whatever his hobbies are. And we split off and do what we like, come back together, watch like a couple episodes again, but we're not talking. So I feel like it's just a chill moment for both of us to have a good laugh, whatever we're watching, whatever series, and eat some snacks, because we can't forget the snacks. And we go back, and after that we just rest, unwind, and go back and go to bed. And it's just fun because we have an idea as to what we balanced it out. We got together, left each other, came back together, and yeah, I think it's important to check in and not treat each other as roommates, because once you treat each other as roommates and you just coexist with each other and don't check in with each other and make sure that there's nothing wrong, make sure that they're okay, make sure that you're not like forgetting about them or disregarding their goals or beliefs or values, then you're good. And disagreements are definitely okay, because we have had many disagreements, but we always fix them because that's what it is. We have those uncomfortable conversations, but I think that's what relationships are. Arguments are unavoidable because we sometimes clash, and I think that's okay. As long as they don't repeat themselves, as long as you're growing every freaking day, I think that's all that matters. And always remember that to be in a great relationship, you have to be okay with yourself and really love yourself and love where you're at in the moment. And when you don't really think about finding that person that you're looking for, you're gonna find them. And if you're in a good place, you'll find somebody that's in a good place. that is only if you did the self-work. There's many people say, oh my God, I'm ready to get back in the dating game. I did all this self-work. I worked on myself. I'm ready. I have my boundaries up, and boundaries are so important. Like, you know how much you can take if you have a boundary. You know when you're like, that's enough. I don't want to be with you. You just crossed my boundary. Get out. Get out. And that, you gotta be serious about it. Because if you have boundaries, there's a line. There's a wall. And if somebody doesn't want to, respect you and treat you right, because there are narcissists out there, and they just want from you. And they just ask for all your energy and ask for everything to be done for them, and as if they are like superior, the king, the best thing that's ever happened to you, and you are just this little thing in their life. But since you do and give all the energy to them, they feel amazing. They feel like they're on top of the world. And once you slip up, they can be your greatest enemy. They can do so many bad things to you. They can hurt you. They can degrade you. They could diminish your value, dim your light, and you'll never come back from it if you're still with them. And if you do gain the courage and self-respect that you deserve, then you leave and forget about them and never go back there again. But it's hard and it's difficult. And to all those women and men that have been in this situation and you were able to get out of it, I'm so grateful and glad you did when you did. And it's okay to grieve a relationship, and it's okay to be sad that it's over and the difficulties that you endured, and you're afraid that it might happen again. But take that time and feel those feelings and cry about it and just be in your pajamas, and don't just run out there. Give yourself like 6 months to a year. Delete that person from all your social media, your contacts, never see them again. Because let me tell you, when I was in high school, I still kept the people that I liked on Facebook. I still kept my previous relationships out on Facebook. And when they had girlfriends, I would be mad. I'd be like, oh my God, what the hell? They got the girlfriend. That's not healthy. That's not healthy to stalk people like that. Like, why would you? You're not in that relationship anymore. And I'm talking about when I was single, obviously. But I hope this video was valuable. And I don't know if I just ranted on about relationships and respect and knowing your love language and just checking in, because that is so important. And just space. You need your space to be with the same sex, other females or males or whatever, right? You need that space to tell your significant other, oh my God, this day was so amazing. I went with the guys, I went with the girls. We had a good chat. It was funny. But also there has to be a boundary, right? When you're with your girlfriends or your guy friends, you don't tell your girlfriend or guy friend everything that happened within that group, within your bros or your girlfriends. If your girls don't want your boyfriend to know, don't talk about it. That is none of their business. They weren't there. Why are you telling them? Or if the dudes were talking dude stuff, let them talk about dude stuff and don't tell your girlfriend. I don't need to know all the things that my boyfriend does when I'm not there. That's none of my business. He had a fun time. That's all you could say. Oh my God, I had a fun time with the guys. We grabbed pizza and some chicken wings, saw football. That's all he can say, right? And I'm not gonna be like, oh my God, was there gossip? What happened? Was it? No. That's their time. That's like their dude time. And I'm having my own time. And it's just good to have that separation. When you're together all the time, and I feel like some relationships are like, I feel like, I don't know, it's kind of, I mean, if you enjoy it, if you don't feel like smothered, then go ahead. But I feel like, how much can you talk about when you're together all the time, right? If you see each other all the time, what new conversations can you share? Like I always tell my boyfriend, oh my God, babe, I ran into a Karen today. There was something that happened at the store in the coffee shop. It was pretty funny. This person was so amazing. They were so great. I love their vibe. And you could just, oh my God, there's so many stories you can tell them and how fun it was. Like, oh wow, I tried this new coffee shop, babe. let's go try it together now that I know what the coffees are, or this restaurant. Because you could see more of the world with different people. And when people say, oh, they're a couple, they're always going to be together, they're not going to, have the time for hanging out. And yeah, maybe we will, maybe we won't. Just put it down on the schedule, jot it down, y'all. I think we just have to like jot it down and put some space in there. So I don't know where you're at in your relationship. Is it difficult? And do you know your love life, your love language, right? And does your partner respect your love language? Do what your love language says? And you're okay with your relationship. I want to know. Rate the podcast, guys. If you got this far, give it a rating. You're amazing. Put some comments down below because I want to hear your stories. I might even include them in the next podcast. With this, I say goodbye, guys. I'll see you in the next episode.